Well, Stoke will want to get back to winning ways as they travel to take on West Bromwich Albion, and Mark Robins will definitely want a huge reaction from his players following that Southampton defeat. So with that being said, who's going to be in the starting 11 for this one, and why have I gone for 5 changes from that Saints defeat? Now, the Potters come into this one looking to get back to winning ways following that Southampton defeat 2-0 at home in the early kickoff, and I think it definitely was one of the worst performances we've seen this season. So it's going to be a big reaction from the players that Mark Robins will want. It'll be a big test of character as well, and I think it's a huge opportunity based off the form that West Brom have got. They've obviously brought in Eric Ramsey. He's not been able to work his magic just yet. They've had defeats to the likes of Portsmouth, which was 3-0, 5-0 to Norwich as well. This is a big opportunity for Stoke to capitalise and rectify things following that Saints defeat. So I think Mark Robins will make changes in this one. How many? I've gone for 5 changes, so let me know if you go for any different. So starting in goal would of course be Tommy Simpkin. Obviously Gavin Bazunu and Victor Johansson are of course out injured. In terms of your back 4, I bring in Aaron Cresswell for this one. I think it just makes sense for him to come in. You look at the way that Stoke could play in this one. We need to play on the front foot. We need to be aggressive. We need to get balls into the box for the likes of Milan Schmidt. And I think the width in terms of how we can stretch this West Brom side is how we need to play in this one. So having the likes of Cresswell at fullback would be a good option. But also having maybe Bocat, who's maybe a tiny bit more attacking in terms of overlapping, that could also work. But I think getting the crosses into the box, maybe winning the game from a set piece, which Stoke haven't been able to do, is exactly the look or the idea that Mark Robins might go for. So that's him at left back. In terms of your 2 centre halves, Wilmot comes back in for this one alongside Phillips. And then moving over to that right back spot, I think Televiero did struggle in that Southampton game where we of course did see him come off at half time. I think Cienza for Southampton just had the run on him, a good creative player, and I think it's going to be one where could we see Lowell come in for this one? I'd like to see him move to the midfield. We saw him play in the midfield in that whole game. I think he maybe is what we need in the midfield, but for now, with the injuries, I think Televiero will drop out for this one and Lowell will come in at right back. So then looking at the midfield, obviously another one where at half time we saw the midfield Nzonzi and Rigo drop out at half time to be replaced with Pearson and Seko. Now, I think it's difficult. You can't just base one performance off the next game to say, oh wow, these need to drop out, these didn't have a good game. But I think looking at this one, Pearson, if he's fit and ready, which is why we've not seen him start games, I think he'll start. It's just who plays alongside him. I'd then bring Seko in. I think Seko deserves a chance, so have Pearson and Seko alongside each other in this one. You just look at it, if Stoke want to play on the front foot, I think you're looking at the likes of Seko to be more aggressive, which he can do at times. Then Jun Ho in the number 10 role. This is going to be a big game for him for me. I think it's one where you look at how West Brom play and the shape that they have. They're very, very narrow. So if Stoke can stretch this West Brom side and look to play on the wings with the full-backs and the wingers, if Jun Ho can then find that space in between the full-back and the centre-half or in between the lines, this could be a real good game for him. Wasn't lucky with his chance that he had in the Southampton game. I think he's one of them where he's always looking to create something, and hopefully he can do that in this one. So I think he starts in the number 10 role every day of the week. In terms of looking at that winger role now, so Suber Thomas on the left, I think that's a given. Yes, I've seen a few people say I'll maybe drop him out to give him a bit of a rest, but I think this is another one where it's going to be a game where we're going to play to the wingers. We're going to look to be threatening using both sides of the pitch. So I think it is going to be one where Suber Thomas is going to be heavily involved, and hopefully he can work his form, have his lovely link up with the likes of Cresswell and Jun Ho, and maybe get balls into the box to get Smith, and maybe it is another one where we're looking for set pieces as an outlet to score in this one. I think especially if we are going to be aggressive and really get the crowd a little bit anxious, and the form that West Brom are in, I think Suber Thomas can be one that just gives you something to worry about and hopefully unsettles the home crowd. So him on left wing, and then over on that right wing spot, obviously Lamine Cisse started there in the Southampton one. I think Jesurun Rak-Sakyi should start in this one. Yes, I know that he hasn't played since December the 20th, something like that, for Rising Sport. I think he's obviously been keeping himself fit. I think he's got a full week of training as well, so I think it's one where he should start. He might not. We might see him have an appearance off the bench come the 65th, 70th minute, but I would like to see him start in this one. Another one where he can get you off his seat, and if we are going to be playing aggressive, we need to use both wings. And then leading the line, Milan Schmidt. Obviously had a bit of a difficult game in that Southampton one. Felt like he was feeding off scraps a little bit. Looking back at the Southampton game, I think apart from maybe the Jun Ho chance where he had had an effort really well saved from long range in the first half. He made a lovely little run that Junho could have played him through, so we could have opportunities for that. I think it might be maybe a difficult one again in terms of you look at it. Yes, I know West Brom aren't in good form. However, they play maybe a 3 or a 5 at the back in terms of out of possession. It's going to be one where he's faced against quite a number of centre halves, but if you can make the run in behind, if you can maybe find that bit of space to have a quality ball into the box, and he's there on the end of it. So hopefully he can get his first goal for Stoke. I think it would be really harsh to judge him just yet based off that Southampton one. So this one, I think we'll really see a lot more of Milan Schmidt. Hopefully he has a number of chances, or at least more chances than what he had in the Southampton one. So him leading the line in this one. I think it is one where Stoke need to find more ways of winning games. I think we've only scored 6 goals from set pieces. I think we need to look at set pieces as one. We obviously got the equaliser in the Birmingham game. This might be another one where you're looking at set pieces, whether that be corners or free kicks, to just get the ball in the box. We've got great players like Aaron Cresswell, like Sorba Thomas, who can whip in an absolutely superb ball into the box. And with the height of the likes of Smith, Ashley Phillips, Lowell as well, I think you need to look at different ways of winning these games. And it is one where Stoke need to be aggressive, but also play with confidence. They'll want to rectify things from the Southampton game, and hopefully we can do that with that starting 11. So let me know what you guys think. Have I got it right? Maybe we don't make as many changes, and the likes of, say, Rigo keeps his place. Televierov might stay there at right back as well. And of course, with Charlton in mind, will we see as many changes? And the changes are going to come in the midweek fixture, but we'll have to see. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you like, make sure you comment what your starting 11 would be ahead of Saturday's game. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time.